11 is back, and that single revelation quietly shatters everything we thought we understood about Stranger Things. Without a massive announcement or flashy marketing push, a brand new prequel is fundamentally rewriting the rules of the franchise. It pulls 11 into a previously unseen chapter of the timeline, introduces a character we've never heard of before, resurrects dangers the show seemingly abandoned, and subtly rearranges continuity in ways that could challenge canon itself. This isn't just another side story. This is Stranger Things, tales from '85, and it's asking questions the franchise has avoided for years. The story takes us back to Hawkins, but not the Hawkins we remember. This version of the town is frozen in time, literally. Snow-covered streets, icy silence, and beneath it all, threats the main series never fully explored. Toxic upside-down spores return, long-forgotten dangers resurface, and the timeline shifts just enough to make fans deeply uncomfortable. Because once you notice the cracks, you can't unsee them. Why was this new character never mentioned? Why did the Upside Down stop being deadly? And what if the scariest version of Stranger Things was abandoned on purpose? 11 is officially returning in a brand new Stranger Things release. And now, the release window has finally been revealed. Even more interesting is what this project chooses to explore, something the Netflix series rarely slowed down enough to examine. And the timing couldn't be more perfect. Nearly a month after the Stranger Things finale aired, the series is still dominating Netflix's global charts, comfortably sitting in the top 10 most-watched shows worldwide. That alone proves the franchise hasn't lost its grip. The main story may be over, but the world of Stranger Things is far from finished. Multiple spin-offs are already in development, each expanding the universe in bold new directions. And after Season 5 left 11's ultimate fate deliberately open-ended, fans have been desperate for more stories centered on her. This new release may not pick up exactly where the finale left off, but it confirms one undeniable truth: 11's journey isn't over. Netflix previously confirmed that the first official Stranger Things spin-off would be an animated series titled Stranger Things, tales from '85, set between seasons 2 and 3. During this period, 11 is very much alive, though she will be recast for animation, as Millie Bobby Brown has naturally aged out of the role. The animated series itself is scheduled to premiere sometime in 2026, with no exact date announced yet. However, Netflix has now confirmed that Stranger Things, tales from '85, Chapter Book 1 will be released on September 1st, 2026. The story reunites 11 with Mike, Lucas, Will, Max, and Dustin as they investigate a new mystery in Hawkins. This time, however, they aren't alone. They're joined by a brand new character named Nikki, a decision that quietly expands the franchise's lore in a potentially dangerous way. The mystery begins innocently enough, a lost and found box contaminated by upside-down spores. But what starts small doesn't stay small for long. The contamination spreads through objects, through spaces, and eventually through the town itself. And then comes one of the most shocking reveals. Hawkins is completely covered in snow. For longtime fans, this is unprecedented. Outside of a brief moment where Hopper leaves Eggos for 11 in a snowy forest, the original series almost never showed Hawkins in winter. A frozen town changes everything, visually, emotionally, and narratively. Seeing the group face the upside down in an icy, unfamiliar version of Hawkins promises an entirely different experience. Created by Eric Robles, Tales from '85 is set during the winter of 1985, firmly wedged between seasons 2 and 3. To put that in perspective, Season 2 focused on Will's possession by the Mind Flayer and 11 hiding in Hopper's cabin. Season 3 jumped forward into neon lights, malls, and Cold War paranoia beneath Starcourt. Tales from '85 lives in the dangerous space between those arcs. Early details reveal that the series introduces entirely new monsters never seen in the main show. The tone is described as more adventure-driven and family-oriented, leaning into mystery rather than pure horror. But that doesn't mean the stakes are lower. the biggest risk doesn't come from monsters. It comes from Nikki. She exists only in Tales from 85. She's never mentioned in the main series, not once. That silence has ignited intense fan theories. Many believe Nikki won't survive the story, which would explain her absence. Others think her family leaves Hawkins after events spiral out of control. But even that explanation feels incomplete. If she was truly part of the group, why was she never mentioned again? Not even in private moments, not even in memories. Introducing a new character into such a tightly defined timeline is dangerous. Done poorly, it creates plot holes that weaken the entire foundation of the franchise. Tales from 85 has to be extremely careful with how Nikki is integrated and how her story ends. Beyond character concerns, the spin-off also revisits something the original show gradually abandoned: fear itself. In the early seasons, the Upside Down was terrifying because it was hostile, toxic, and unpredictable. The air was dangerous. The spores mattered. Simply existing there felt like a risk. You didn't need a monster on screen to feel dread. As the series progressed, that fear faded. Characters moved freely through the Upside Down. Consequences diminished. It became a battlefield instead of a living threat. That's why the return of spores matters so much. By making contamination central again, Tales from 85 turns the danger inward. Objects spread the threat. Hawkins itself becomes infected. The line between worlds blurs in unsettling ways. This kind of horror doesn't need bigger monsters. It needs smarter fear. If Tales from 85 fully commits to restoring the Upside Down as poisonous, unstable, and uncontrollable, it won't just expand the lore. It will remind us why Stranger Things was terrifying in the first place. Ultimately, Stranger Things, Tales from 85 isn't just another spin-off. It's a quiet test of whether this franchise remembers who it once was. Stranger Things thrived on mystery. Fear came from not knowing. The Upside Down wasn't explained, it was endured. The air felt wrong. The spores mattered. Every step felt dangerous. Somewhere along the way, that fear disappeared. As the series grew louder and bigger, the Upside Down became familiar, survivable. And when fear becomes manageable, it stops being fear, it becomes spectacle. That's why Tales from 85 matters. Eleven's return isn't fan service, it forces us to reevaluate the entire timeline. 11 has always been the emotional and narrative core of Stranger Things. Every major turning point traces back to her existence. Even when she was absent, the story revolved around her shadow. Tales from 85 places her in one of the most fragile periods of her life. She's no longer trapped, but she isn't free. She's hiding, healing, learning friendship while carrying deep trauma. This version of 11 is powerful but unstable, emotional, and unprotected. That makes this prequel dangerous, in the best way. The original series skipped this period entirely. Tales from 85 steps into that silence. And silence is where fear lives. By restoring contamination, consequences, and uncertainty, the story reframes the Upside Down as invasive again. And 11, psychically connected to it, is the perfect lens to explore that danger. Does she sense the spores before anyone else? Does exposure affect her differently? Could her powers make her both protector and catalyst? These are questions the main series never asked. And then there's Nikki. Her existence challenges the franchise more than any monster ever could. If she mattered, her absence must mean something. Whether she dies, leaves Hawkins, or disappears in a way that fractures memory itself, the story must earn that silence. Handled well, Nikki becomes one of the most tragic figures in the franchise. Handled poorly, she becomes a crack that never heals. That's the risk Tales from 85 is taking. And that's what makes it exciting. This isn't a sequel playing it safe. It's a prequel stepping into a narrow gap in the timeline and daring to leave a scar. It asks whether Stranger Things can expand without over-explaining, whether it can restore fear without spectacle, and whether 11's story still has layers left to uncover. If it succeeds, Tales from 85 won't just add a chapter. It will reframe the entire series. It will remind us that the scariest version of Stranger Things wasn't about villains or final bosses. It was about not knowing if the world around you was safe to breathe. And maybe that version was never gone. Maybe it was only waiting to return. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Tales from 85 will fix what the main series lost? Or does it risk breaking canon forever? What do you believe happens to Nikki? And why was she never mentioned again? Do you want Stranger Things to stay mysterious? Or do you want answers? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into Stranger Things lore, upcoming spin-offs, and the secrets Netflix doesn't fully explain, hit the like button. It helps this reach other fans. And if you don't want to miss future updates on Tales from 85 or the next evolution of the Stranger Things universe, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because in Hawkins, the story is never really over.